Oh, hey guys, this is attorney Jack from CruzCasinoMafia.com. And it's one of those days where I'm going to do a coffee and casino chat. So usually in the morning, I'm not sponsored by Panera. I should be. I spend enough money over there, that's for sure. So driving home from my normal routine in the morning, having a bagel or a pastry over at Panera with my iced tea or a hot tea, and just thought I'd do a quick video for you. You know, this topic seems to come up quite a bit, so I'm going to talk about it today, and I'm going to give you some of my personal experiences with this, because believe me, I have a lot. So when I notice there's an issue or that people are doing something that's not beneficial to themselves, a lot of times I've been through it before. And this is definitely one of those where I hope nobody thinks I'm talking down to them, because thousands and thousands of dollars later, throughout the 90s and the beginning of the 2000s, I was one of you guys. So please don't think that I'm talking down to anybody. All right, so here's the deal. Many of you know that my experiences, it's kind of interesting, because my experiences through the casino stuff, as well as the trading world, were kind of emerging at the same time. So I was eagerly excited about how to generate funds and money from thin air in the casino, and I was also fascinated with trading. So I started with stocks, and believe it or not, one of the most difficult things to trade, the futures market in commodities. I was trading coffee beans, orange juice, cattle, things like that. And I was learning the hard way how difficult trading was. And then I moved into things like options, traded options and did spreads. And I will give you guys this statement as well, is that I will always give props to this person throughout my entire life, no matter what anybody ever says. So some of the greatest books, tapes, and he did all kinds of VCR tapes back then. I learned more about money from one guy, and that guy's name is Wade Cook. Wade passed away just a few years ago, okay? And I could do a whole video on Wade Cook, but I'm going to tell you that his books are the easiest books to read and understand, and they have no fluff. They explain to you strategies and concepts related to money and trading. Those concepts live with me today. So anybody that's interested in learning more about money and trading, that's all you need to go is to a used bookstore or Amazon, and you can get these books dirt cheap, okay? Wade Cook is his name. All right, so the reason I'm bringing him up is I was so passionate back then about learning everything I could know about trading and systems. And eventually what happened was I was in the right place at the right time, where the retail market started to come into effect in the Forex market. And with that happening, there were all kinds of brand new indicators, these magical things that were going to tell you when to trade. And every one of those was better than the one that came before. Then the sky really opened, and we had what we call expert advisors, EAs. They're basically coded robots, okay? And I was actively involved in creating many of the concepts that we were using in these EAs, which were automated trading code that basically did whatever you wanted to do automatically, all right? And I spend a lot of money and a lot of time evaluating other people's code, evaluating systems, evaluating concepts. It was incredible. But here's the downside. The downside is, and I see this with many of you today that I'm helping in the casino income space, it's the same thing. And here's what it is. You look at something, you buy something, you evaluate a new system. Maybe you're a member of Cruise Casino Mafia and you're seeing the content that we're putting out for members. And you look at a PDF. Let's say it's a crap system or a baccarat system. It doesn't matter. Or you watch a video and you get excited and you take the concept and you test it. And you do what you're supposed to do. You don't play it for real money until you really, really test this thing out. And it works. And it does what you think it's going to do. And then all of a sudden, a brand new shiny system comes up that you just saw on Roulette Master or Roulette Jackpot or Baccarat Man or any of the other really cool channels that show things on a regular basis. You know? And what happens? Everything you just did, all the testing you just did on the system that you've been playing, just went right out the window because there's a shiny new object in front of you. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. You're not the only one. I did it in my trading career all the time. And you know what? It's a lot of fun to test and evaluate new things. It is my favorite thing to do when it comes to trading or here in the casino income space, right? But here's the problem. The problem is that I've seen that many of you are simply going from one system to another. You're just hopping around, okay? What's working? What's working? And you may have had something that worked really well, but it doesn't matter because there's a new shiny object that's thrown in front of you, all right? And that's the biggest problem. So how do we handle that? What do we do? What can we possibly do to stop ourselves from just magically jumping from one concept to another? Well, here's what I've learned how to do. And you've heard me use this term, especially private members, that now what we do is we have a toolbox of methodology. Each one of us creates our own toolbox. Because you may only be interested in playing roulette. You may be a baccarat player and that's it. Or you may diversify your portfolio, right? And you may have never played craps in your life because it looks really confusing when you've seen it in the casino. But you now realize that craps is one of the best games to play and you want to learn. So you want to now be able to play baccarat and craps, or roulette and craps, whatever it may be. So here's what I suggest that you do. Especially for members. We have hundreds of videos and PDFs now, and we're building that library every single week. So the private members of Cruise Casino Mafia are constantly seeing new ideas and information. That's a bit of a problem, isn't it, based on what I just told you? How do you evaluate? How do you bring these ideas in? Well, here's what I suggest. The first thing you need to do is you need to, in writing, make this real. Create a spreadsheet for yourself. Something, or a Word doc, or on paper, whatever you want to do. And you need to have a starting place. So if that starting place is roulette, okay, tell yourself that you're going to isolate no more than 3. No more than 3. 2 is more than enough, but no more than 3 systems that you're going to utilize, and you're going to evaluate all the different things that you think are working or that you're interested in, whether it be from our channel publicly, whether it's the private stuff that we're putting out, and you're going to really isolate down to the methodology that makes sense for you. What does that mean? First of all, this is what I do. I know at this point, for me, that I can watch other videos. I can analyze systems that our team is looking at. I can analyze systems that I see in other places, right? And very quickly, I can make an evaluation at this point. Not that it's good or bad, but that it fits into the type of system that I want to be playing, that I believe in, that I'm drawn to those type of systems, okay? Which means that about 70% of the time, I can instantly say, this is not for me. Quickly, boom. That doesn't mean I don't watch the video. It doesn't mean I don't read the system or analyze it. But it means that that's a system I know is not going to fall into my wheelhouse. Okay? So it's done. It's gone. All right? Very easy. Okay? And by the way, that goes for the systems that we release privately in Cruise Casino Mafia. Not every one of those systems falls into my wheelhouse. But I don't give you guys things that are only for me. I have to appeal and provide quality content and quality information and systems that may not be for me, but they're for somebody else that has a different way of looking at roulette or craps or baccarat, okay? So here's the deal. It makes it real easy after a while. So now I have my ongoing 2 to 3 systems that I have for roulette, let's say, okay? Now, let's go to the next step in the equation. Not always the bet selection is immediately married to the money management component that's right for me. So many times, even on the public side of this channel, you will see me say that I've seen a bet selection that I was intrigued by, but I hated the money management, right? I hated the doubling. I hated the martingale, the grand martingale. I didn't like the way that the money was being manipulated in the system. So sometimes you have to go the extra step. And if you like what you see, but there's something that doesn't jive with you on the money management side, you need to evaluate that, either correct it by using one of the money management components that we provide to our members, or something that you like using that's more conservative or more aggressive, depending on what you're looking for. Okay? So now, if you feel that you've isolated the system and the proper money management, and of course, you have tested this thing over and over again using Wizard of Odds, using Crapsy, using WinPro, whatever it is that you want to use, Royal Roulette Simulator, whatever it may be, okay? Or you even test it against actual live spins in the casino while you're tracking it. Not playing for real money, but tracking it, okay? Or online or on whatever it may be, if you have live spin results, okay, which is even better. You now have isolated system number 1. You don't need 3 systems, but what I'm saying to you is don't go any further than 2 to 3 systems for that specific game, okay? Now, let's stop right there. The next shiny object comes out. Roulette Master does a system that you absolutely fall in love with on a Tuesday. Go ahead and test it. Go ahead and evaluate it. Nobody's telling you not to do that. I put out new things for our members 2 to 3 times, 2 to 3 new things a week on average. Have fun with it. If you enjoy this like we do, you're going to want to test it if it looks like it's something interesting, right? Go ahead and do it. But always stop yourself and then reevaluate your toolbox for roulette in this instance. And say to yourself, after you've played with it and tested this new shiny object, does it really seem like it's better than one of the ones in your toolbox right now? Let's say the 2 roulette systems that are the backbone for your casino income plan. Is it better than those? If it's not, make a note of it. If it's something you really like, but it doesn't quite fit into that top 2. It doesn't quite make the grade. Write it down. Put that system aside. Put it in your notebook. But don't add it to what you're doing. Because the whole point is not to keep shifting and changing what you're doing. It's to find the 2 to 3 things for roulette that work for you and stick to it. Okay? If you add the second game, like most of us do, after a while, right? You add another game. Maybe you add a third. Okay, that's up to you. So if roulette and let's say craps are the 2 things you're going to focus on, it's the same as trading. If you're a stock trader, the people that trade stocks and make big money do not look at 10,000 different stocks and become experts at every stock. Do you know what the experts do? 3, 2, 5 stocks, and they are experts at the movements and the fundamentals only for those 2, 3, 4, 5 stocks. They don't look at the whole market. They don't care what the other stocks are doing because they become an expert just at those things. And they make all of their money utilizing those single assets. That's it. You do not have to become an expert at every single system that's on the market. That's not the way it works. All right? So for me, I have shifted. So I'm going to give you the honest story here, right? Always honest with you guys. I'm not doing as much Baccarat at the moment. If you've watched some of our videos and some of these breakfast chats, I've told you the reason for that. Due to the shuffle master, due to some of the gray math that's going on that nobody seems to understand in Baccarat, right? So lately, I'm still doing Baccarat videos. I'm still evaluating systems, always, and providing people with systems that have worked out through testing. But for me personally, at the moment, my toolbox is roulette and craps. I still have my 2 systems for Baccarat that are still at the top of my food chain in the toolbox. Okay? And those could always get knocked down if another system comes along and I take a deep breath and I evaluate that system and decide that it's now bumping out one of the 2 systems that, let's say, I have for Baccarat or for roulette. Okay? But I'm not jumping. That's the point. I'm not jumping systems because there's a shiny new object that somebody is showing or something is happening. I have my core 2 systems in roulette, in Baccarat, and in craps. I have a lot of other stuff that's really cool. And I put those to the side. That the only decision that I have to make is whether anything that I'm looking at and evaluating that's new fits my criteria better for risk to reward, for the volatility in my session bankroll, and the stress level that I have to play at to play the system. That's all I care about. All I care about, right? Bankroll size to play the system, ability to move in and out relatively quickly with profits, and the volatility in the session bankroll and my overall bankroll. I don't care about anything else. Notice, I didn't tell you that I'm evaluating how many units I'm making per shoe, how many units I'm making every time I sit down at the roulette table, because I don't care, because that's the difference. It's not about trying to make massive chunks of money and putting more money at risk. The secret that I've provided to you guys on this channel, publicly and privately, is real simple. It comes from the trading background, and this is what it is. Stop trying to make 50 units in a shoe, 40 units in a shoe, 30 units in a shoe, a baccarat. If you can make 4 to 6 units, maybe even less, in a baccarat shoe consistently, if you can make 4 to 6 units at a roulette table consistently in a session, or in a mini game, as I call them, or playing craps for a short period of time, you don't have to take the risk to stay there longer, to play crazy progressions, because the secret formula is this: grow your bankroll for that individual system slowly and methodically. Because once you grow that bankroll to the point for that specific system, where you're now playing, instead of a $5 base bet, you're playing a $25 base bet, a $50 base bet, or a $100 base bet, it's a little bit different when you're making 3 to 6 units or 4 to 6 units in a session, isn't it? Stop trying to take major risk. Stop trying to use ridiculous progressions to be able to make the money. Methodically grow your bankroll, but it starts with having the right game plan. And the right game plan is not running to the next shiny object. There's too many people that email me that are wonderful people, very intelligent people, by the way, that are making that mistake. They think they found something. They let me know that it's worked for them consistently over, let's say, 15, 20 shoes or 15, 20 roulette sessions. They've evaluated the rubber band being stretched on the negative side and the positive side. They've evaluated the bankroll requirements. And then all of a sudden, something else comes along. And they're off and running. That's not a game plan. That's not business. You need to treat this like a business. That's what I do, and that's what successful people do when it comes to any type of trading or investment concepts. If you want to be a gambler, go be a gambler. I'm not going to tell you not to do that. Have fun. Congratulations. But if you want to take this seriously, creating income from the casino, you need to stop doing the things that are paying for the fancy chandeliers in the MGM, that are paying for all those gorgeous tables and amazing places and things that you see when you go to those casinos. You want to enjoy the casino, but you don't want to be the guy that's helping them pay for the fancy stuff that you see inside the casino. You want to be one of those 0.5% guys that are making money on a regular basis. And that starts by doing the right thing and not just jumping from one shiny object to another. Create a toolbox on a spreadsheet. Determine 2 to 3 systems that meet your criteria after testing. And only bounce those systems out of your top 2 or 3 when you found something that works way better for you. But you should not be doing that on a daily basis. There's no reason for that if you find the right systems. If you're a member of CruiseCasinoMafia.com, I am telling you that it is easy to take the time, like you would be going to school, and evaluate the systems that we provided to you, let's say for roulette. You are easily going to be able to throw a big chunk away because they're not your kind of deal. And then you're going to hone it down. And you're going to figure out what your 2 to 3 systems are for roulette. Now for craps, I'm going to be honest with you. There's a few things that we've introduced lately for our private members on the craps side. They are fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. They are math-based concepts. It's the closest thing to being on the other side, to being the casino. Putting the same odds virtually that the casino has on your side. Those 2 or 3 systems are going to be really hard to beat. Maybe there are systems out there that could beat them. I've been playing craps for over 30 years. These are some of the best income generation things that I have ever played. The last 2 or 3 systems privately that we've given out. But it doesn't matter because it's the same thing. If something else happens that's better, I evaluate it. But I don't bump one of my top 2, 3 crap systems out that quickly. It has to really prove itself to bounce out one of those systems. Have fun watching other people's videos, just like I do. Evaluate them. Write them down. Put them in your little index file, your virtual index file on the internet, in a doc or a spreadsheet. But they don't automatically jump into your top 2 or 3 systems that easily. That's the point. When something is working, why are you tweaking and changing it constantly? Why? I was that guy. All the time. I was the worst. Worse than any of you when it came to doing that in the trading industry. I was always tweaking. For what reason? Because I enjoyed testing. That's why. Probably the same thing with you guys. Have fun. Test. Virtually play it. Simulate all those things. Have fun doing it. But don't mistake that fun with your toolbox for generating income through casino gaming. Those are 2 different things. Have your top 2 or 3. Stick to it. Don't let those be replaced once you really know that that's where you need to be. With that, I hope you guys enjoy the weekend. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming on the public side here as well as the private side. If this is the first time you're seeing the channel, like the video, subscribe for more content coming up. We're always talking outside the box of all kinds of interesting things here. And if you want to join us on the private side, that's all you need to do is go to CruiseCasinoMafia.com. You can still become a lifetime member for a nominal amount of money. Basically, a cup of coffee, which you're paying for a cup of coffee a day or a week, is basically what you're going to be paying to get everything we have and everything we have going forward. Okay? Especially if you use our promo code MAFIA and the number 50. All right? We'll see you on the inside. We'll see you on another video. I hope you guys got something out of this. That's all I want to do is give you those little nuggets so that you can avoid the pitfalls that all of us have already experienced. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I've spent thousands of dollars doing that. I just want to help. That's why we're here. Have a great day. We'll see you on the inside of CruiseCasinoMafia.com.